Why are so many producers getting into TV film sync licensing? Do they know something that you don't? Let's get into that topic in today's video. Welcome to Sync My Music. My name is Jesse, and if you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you and invite you to subscribe to this channel because I put out helpful videos every single week, specifically and exclusively about the topic of TV film sync licensing. This is the best kept secret for musicians, music producers, and songwriters like yourself, and it's actually what's allowed me to create full-time income with my music for the last 14 years. I got started in 2008. And probably just like you, I was struggling for a long time as an artist. I was actually a songwriter, a drummer, and a guitarist in a band. And we were just trying to get signed. We were trying to get fans. We were trying to tour. All of the same things basically that you have been trying to do or maybe you've tried to do in the past. And of course, probably just like you, we ran up against tons of walls, tons of what I call mystery boxes. There's these just huge unknowns in the music industry in terms of how do you create a viral track? How do you get a deal? How do you get money, essentially? How do you actually earn money with your music? So I was frustrated for many years until one day a light bulb went off and I actually accidentally met somebody who works in the TV film sync licensing business. And he basically gave me all the knowledge, all the tools, or at least enough to get started and to understand why TV film sync licensing is a much smarter approach to creating income with my music than going the traditional artist route. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to walk you through the 3 reasons why many producers have jumped into this business and why you might want to consider it. And then I have a free starter course for you that I'll give you a link for at the end of this video, so stay tuned. And that will give you a lot of information as far as how you can start getting started and taking yourself much more seriously as a TV film sync licensing producer or artist if you want to, okay? So before I give you the 3 reasons, the biggest reason why you've probably been hearing more about sync licensing is because of the pandemic, okay? With the shutdowns and the economy coming to a halt and everybody being sent home and doing remote work, musicians and artists and just a lot of people in the music industry had nothing to do. They had a lot of time on their hands, but they couldn't tour, they couldn't play, they couldn't go to studios and have day gigs. Just a lot of the income that most producers and musicians were having at the time, or I should say artists, just came to a screeching halt. And so there was just this huge hole in the music business, and a lot of artists and musicians and producers were looking for new ways to create income. In comes TV film sync licensing. So channels like mine and other channels that talk about TV film sync licensing really blew up, really got popular, and this topic really kind of took hold in the industry. Because if you're stuck at home and you got to make music, or you're trying to make money and you still want to make music, how do you do it? So enter in now the 3 reasons why these producers found out about sync licensing and why they are now, a lot of them, taking it so seriously that they have completely abandoned trying to tour, trying to become an artist, trying to get a deal. And now they realize that TV film sync licensing is actually the smart play. So I'm going to walk you through the 3 reasons why they decided that. And that might help you decide whether or not you want to get more serious about this. Okay. Number 1, it's home-based, right? We hopefully love being around our families, around our children, or around our roommates or whoever we're living with. And being home with the people that you care about more often than not, of course, comes with its own challenges sometimes, but it's definitely a blessing to be able to spend more time with the people that you love. So if you could create full-time income right from your home and from your modest home studio, basically with your plugins, with your Mac or your PC and your DAW software, you can do it all from a very modest home studio these days, thanks to all the amazing plugins and subscription services that we have access to as producers. You can do it all from your home. So a lot of these artists are realizing spending all that time on the road, away from your family, around, drugs and alcohol and just all the things that can happen on the road, and, bandmates having fights and problems and dealing with promoters and, just, I don't have to tell you guys, it's a lot of work, right? So being able to be home and be closer to the people you love is one of the main reasons why, for me, sync licensing was what I wanted to do, because I didn't want to be stuck living a life on the road. It sounds romantic. I did it for a little while and I realized how unromantic it can get very quickly, especially on a tour bus with a lot of other sweaty, smelly dudes all around you, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, sync licensing really does free you up from all of the other nonsense of the music business, and it allows you to just focus on your craft and what you love, which is creating music, okay? So you don't have to spend hours and hours in a tour bus. You don't have to spend time online in social media trying to market yourself and gather a fan base and worry about how do you run an ad campaign on Instagram. All the nonsense that you're just getting frustrated with, and it's taking you further and further away from what your actual core craft is, which is just creating tunes, crafting new music, singing and making awesome beats, whatever it is that you do. A lot of the other side of the business these days, you have to be a marketer, a promoter, a social media expert. You have to be a customer service expert. You have to have all these extra tools, and you also probably have to be very controversial to get a lot of attention on yourself. And like music is like the last thing on the list, because you could have great music, but if nobody's finding you, it's just kind of for nothing, right? With TV film sync licensing, though, when you enter this business, you basically work with what are called music libraries. They're essentially going to be your publishers or distributors, and they're going to help you get your tracks into the TV shows, movies and commercials, video games, radio spots, okay? And that frees you up to just do one thing: create music. That's all you got to do. That is your job. You don't have to have social media presence. You don't have to have a viral hit. You don't have to have a sexy photo. You don't have to have an Instagram following. You don't have to have anything else other than your skills and your talent and your passion and your persistence creating constant new music. So if that sounds really appealing to you, you might want to give sync licensing a really serious look, okay? And then number 3, of course, the big issue and the big reason why a lot of these musicians and producers are getting into sync licensing, it can be very lucrative, okay? If you're not familiar, when you get a TV placement, not only can you earn upfront money from that would be called a synchronization fee. Now, not every single placement has that, but sometimes, especially when it's like an ad or a commercial or a promo for a particular station, a network or a cable station, if they're having you create something custom for it, you can see some amazing sync fees in this business, okay? On the low end, in the thousands, 2, 3, maybe 5,000. On the upper hand, 6 figures, $100,000 plus if it's a large national campaign or even an international campaign, okay? Fairly rare, obviously very hard to get, but there is some lucrative upfront money in this industry, but that's not the best part. For me, the best part has been the performance royalties that I earn every time my tracks get aired in TV shows, okay? So you will need to join, if you're in the US, BMI or ASCAP, and have them basically represent you in terms of helping you collect your royalties when you get placements. Now, one of your tracks can get obviously onto one TV show, let's say, and that TV show airs for 2 months. Okay, well, you're going to get paid out royalties every time that episode re-airs. And a lot of times there's going to be reruns, and it'll air for a couple of months. Let's say that TV show ends up to be kind of like a Seinfeld, where it just goes into syndication forever, and it's like literally never off the air, and it goes to different networks, and then it goes into different countries, and it's just literally airing in all these markets and countries all over the world. Yes, you get paid every single instance that your track gets aired through that TV show. Now, here's a really amazing exponential part of this business. That single track is not exclusive to that one TV show. One track can be spread out into 10 shows, 20 shows, 100 different TV shows. And each one of those shows has the potential, of course, of doing this, of going into syndication and airing over and over again. And you're earning passive income, that's the mailbox money. Those are the checks and the direct deposits you get every single quarter through BMI and ASCAP for those airings. Those royalties are what's going to make or break your entire career, because when you have slow months in your career, which you're going to have in the TV film sync world, you will have slow months, but those royalties continuously move on and keep growing because you've continuously built up your catalog. You keep giving these libraries high quality music that's really relevant for their clients. You keep getting those placements, and that therefore you keep getting the royalties, right? And they can continuously last for years and years and years. And of course, the last best part of all this is you can keep getting new placements from old tracks, okay? It's very common, I see in my royalty checks, music that I made 8 years ago, consistently I get new placements with a new client for thousands of dollars. So that's what we talk about when it comes to passive income. I did the work once, but I reap the rewards. It's almost like I planted one tree, and every single season it can, but not guaranteed, of course, but it has the potential to give me fruit every single season, every single year, because it's still with that library. That library is still serving clients, and once in a while, a track that you made 8 years ago, 5 years ago, is suddenly really relevant for one of their, let's say, reality TV show producers, and they really want to use your music a lot, or even a huge promo or a feature placement. So the kind of income you can get in this business is really amazing. Now, I don't want to overhype you, of course, because this does take work and it takes time, it takes persistence. So the timeline to get to full-time income, I say, is between 2 and 5 years. So if that sounds like way too long and you're not into it for that long, then this is probably just not for you. And I thank you for giving it a shot, but don't continue on with this business because it does take time for you to start to see that kind of income. It's just a slow moving business. But once you get that snowball rolling, you can see how that can carry you into decades into your future and start to pay you out passively for the rest of your life if you want to take this that seriously. So if this does sound interesting to you, you want to at least kind of dip your toe in the water, decide whether or not you like how the water feels, if it's going to be something you want to take more seriously and consider to be a bigger part of your plan with your artist career, with your music career. I want you right now to go into the description box of this video and click on the link to get started with my Sync Starter course, okay? It's a 5-part course. You can watch them all at once if you want to. If not, I will email you one of those videos every single day, and that way you will have access to all of this incredible information for free, 100% for free, and I'm going to show you my personal strategy, how I got myself to full-time income, what the pitfalls are, what are the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of producers making, but of course, what is the successful path and what are the proven resources that I can offer you that will get you to where you want to go in this business much faster than if you try to do all of this on your own. So I hope you join me for that, and if not, no worries. Either way, I hope you subscribe to this channel, leave a like if you found this helpful, and of course, share this video with any of your producer or musician friends who are interested or curious about sync licensing and think that maybe this video can help demystify that for them and decide whether or not they want to take this seriously. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments below. Any comments or questions, concerns, pushback you have for me, I love reading that. Please always leave that below.